Welcome back, everyone, to the After the Scales podcast, episode 27, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove from Phenom Motorsports, along with Shaun Blight of Canadian Racing Tours. Today's special guest, if you follow open wheel dirt sprint cars and midgets, we got Ryan BERNAL out of Hollister, California. Ryan, thanks for being on the podcast today.
Appreciate you guys having me.
So we wanted to open up this episode. Obviously, it's a big topic right now. If anyone's watching, NASCAR on the national level, you saw what happened last night. A very controversial thing where Austin Dillon coming to the white flag and takes out Joey Logano, takes out Denny Hamlin. We wanted to kind of get Ryan's thoughts, even though he has nothing to do, with the NASCAR stuff. Obviously, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is a NOS guy, but other than that. Ryan, what is your thoughts about what took place? I know you watched the replay and you hadn't really watched the whole race, but kind of your thoughts as from a driver's perspective.
It's funny you mentioned Ricky. That's the way I believe it should have been handled after the races. Because I can guarantee you, if that happens again, those consequences, like Ricky's actions, they'll think twice about doing it again.
And as far as, what we've talked about before, how of these younger drivers coming up in these, grassroots scenes, and they make it, even we've seen Corey Day coming out of California in the North. He moved up to high limit, and now he's getting into the asphalt late models and stuff. He's looking like to be a next, Kyle Larson prospect. But I mean, for the most part, Corey Day is a pretty clean driver. Some of these other younger guys, sometimes it's questionable about some of their moves, and obviously they're still getting their feet wet. But sometimes we can see these guys kind of getting rushed. What are your thoughts about, this as an example, what Austin Dillon did? Is that, going to wear off on these young kids watching this on TV?
Hopefully not. It seems to be the norm now, especially in open wheel racing. Unfortunately, and something needs to be done as far as NASCAR. They need to implement or fine him or do something, or else it'll continue. Same thing with racing now with the younger generation. Like my generation coming up, I was racing with John Stambro and Dave Darlin, Levi Jones, and Rip Williams out here in California. If there was any incident like that, I was in the trailer after apologizing for what happened if I was to have any run-in. That was just the respect I had for them. That's the way I was taught. And Corey Day's the same way. His dad is well respected out in the sprint car world here in California. And his dad is teaching him the right way. If something is to happen, to own it and go talk about it rather than hide in the trailer and jump on social media.
And not to call you an old guy or anything like that, Ryan, but you did mention off camera before we came on, you consider yourself a bit of a veteran now. If a younger driver does something like that on the track to you or one of your competitors or something that you don't like, how would you as a veteran maybe handle that situation?
I feel like you always got to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, we're all doing this, and everybody makes mistakes, right? So you give them the benefit of the doubt. Go have a conversation before you do anything too drastic. But I think just having a conversation. Look, hey, this is what I saw from my side. What'd you see from your side? And at least give them a chance to own up to it or apologize, shake a hand, do something like that, and gain the respect.
And kind of moving past this topic now, going into your personal racing career, obviously, you started young. You were 5 years old when you got behind the wheel of a quarter midget. You moved up to the sprint cars when you were 16. You've had a lot of accomplishments, a lot of wins out on the West Coast, and you got your first USAC national win back in 2022 at USETs. Talk about your current racing season. I know it's hard for myself on the other coast to keep up with all the West Coast guys and everything. So talk about your season, how that's going.
Yeah, we've been doing a little hit and miss here and there. Just try, honestly, this year it's getting a lot harder. A lot of these guys right now are at the top of their game here in California, and it's really sprint car racing in California. Wing sprint car racing, whether it's 360 or 410, is I think the best around. So it's definitely hard. You got to stay in the seat, and that's kind of what I've been trying to do as much as possible, especially with the swing with high limit coming in Outlaws. So Just been trying to stay in the seat as whether it's wing 360, wing 410, or non-wing 360 or 410, whatever it is. Just trying to stay in the seats and trying to stay sharp because we have a big couple weeks in a month or so coming here. So want to just do well there.
And what do you have coming up on your schedule, Ryan, specifically?
So we have high limits this week, which would be Tulare, Hanford, Placerville, and then the following week we have Gold Cup in Chico. I'm not going to follow the high limit to Oregon, but once they come or the Outlaws come to California, we're going to try and hit all the Outlaw shows as well.
And obviously you're dabbling in a lot of different sprint cars and midgets. Obviously you're running in the current number 73 car, but we've also seen you behind the wheel in the 87 for Matt Wood Racing. Talk about some of these people that you have in your connections. Obviously NOS Energy is a big supporter of you, and Matt Wood with Elk Grove Ford. So talk about all those supporters that have been giving their resources and kind of guiding you through your racing career.
Yeah, NOS Energy Drink has been a huge part of my racing career the last probably 6 or so years. I think it was when I ran for CMR and Mount Wood at Chili Bowl, and then it really took off from there. Really just helping me get through the racing career or my racing career since then, especially putting me in ties with Matt and helping us put together a combo team with Shane and Dustin there for a couple of years, which was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of good success there. And then, just the opportunities, like you said, racing with Matt, especially Matt, Shane, and Dustin there. We had a lot of success in the wing and the non-wing, and then also the midget. So it's been a lot of fun. They've been NOS has been huge for me in my career to just keep it going.
Let's go back to the start, Ryan, if you would. For those who are on the East Coast that don't get to see you a lot, maybe don't know as much about you, tell us about your start into racing, where your family's start from racing came from, and your passion for it growing up, and maybe your first race car. Jacob mentioned you started at 5 years old.
Yeah, so my dad raced micros at San Jose Speedway back in the day, and then when I was about 4.5, we got a quarter midget. Ran the quarter midget right around a parking lot until I was old enough to actually race. Started racing at 5 in Morgan Hill at Baylands. And fun fact there is where we met the Golubics, Shane and Dustin. Grew up racing through then after that. So went quarter midgets, micros, spec sprints, and then got into 360, 410 non-wing, and then eventually wing when wing started taking over.
And out of all those race cars, I mean, obviously you drive each one of them differently. Personally, what would you say is your most favorite or most comfortable car to drive? Obviously, the wing is all the downforce, and then you hop into the non-wing and you're driving it off the right rear and you're loose, and the midget's super high power, flat, loud pedal to the floor. So you got all these different race cars. Which one is kind of your personal favorite or most comfortable that you race?
Well, I would definitely have to say USAC or not USAC. I mean, non-wing sprint cars have been my go-to. My most success has come from non-wing racing, whether it's 360 or 410. But I would say that for sure. And then I love wing racing. I think wing racing's the hardest thing, for sure. Just between setups and just knowledge of the track. I mean, it's a pure chess game out there, and it really separates the drivers for sure. So I'd go non-wing, but I have so much fun in Chili Bowl. Midgets at the Chili Bowl are a blast.
I was just going to say that one of your racing heroes was Jimmy Sills. Talk about how he's influenced your racing career.
I just think because he's a local guy. I mean, Jimmy's got a little go-kart track, probably I don't know 4 or 5 miles from my house, but growing up, I mean, he's the nice guy. He's the guy that'll come over, shake your hand, and the success behind his name is incredible, and it didn't matter what it was. And I think that's one of the big things is why is because he ran just about anything you could with four wheels and was successful in it. As far as wing, non-wing, midgets, it didn't matter. He ran it all, and that's always what I've tried to put make my career into be successful in any type form or whatever it was in racing, open wheel racing, that is.
And you've mentioned the Chili Bowl a couple of times. I'm possibly, I don't want to jinx anything, but it looks like I might be going to my first one next year. So really excited about that. As someone who's been a few times, tell us what that experience is like, gearing up for that event, and just kind of the pressure that event brings.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, but you're right. The pressure it brings is something else. I don't know why we put so much pressure on ourselves or I put so much pressure on myself at the Chili Bowl, but there's nothing else like rolling down the ramp on a Saturday night if you put it in the show. There's really no other feeling like it. I mean, I haven't started an A main at the Knoxville Nationals or Kings Royal, but man, rolling down that ramp at Chili Bowl is pretty damn special. Gives me goosebumps now thinking about it. But it's packed. I mean, anybody and everybody from racing is there. Uh, that building is full of race cars and full of fans. It doesn't get much better, and the racing's incredible.
And kind of going back to the NOS stuff, obviously there's a cool thing out on YouTube. You got the NOS Energy Secret Formula series that you've participated in with all the NOS drivers. I know we're only 2 episodes in. You don't have to spoil, what happens or anything like that. But talk about that experience. It seems like a lot of fun. You guys drive a Formula 4 car. So, yeah, talk to our viewers about that.
I'll just tell you, I'm not going to get a Formula 4 contract anytime soon. I can tell you that. But man, I love it when the whole team gets together. We have so much fun doing that stuff. And this one was obviously a little different. We actually got to get in real race cars this time and run around there. And it took some time getting used to. There's no doubt about it. As you could see from the first 2 episodes, you'll continue to see me spin out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they've NOS has taken this initiative, and especially getting a bunch of guys together. I know like Chris Wyndham, Tyler Courtney, Sheldon Hodenshield, they see a lot of each other, but the rest of you guys don't really see a whole lot of each other. Is there anyone that you have sort of clicked with within that group?
Oh yeah, I mean all of them. Honestly, we all get along together really well. Everybody does. We go out and have a good time after these shoots as well. We all click pretty well. We're all racers at heart, and we just talk our craft and have a good time.
So kind of moving forward, obviously, you've had over 60 wins and you've had a lot of accomplishments, but have you ever had aspirations, given the right chances and opportunities to go into a national series maybe one day? Because obviously, a lot of guys in the West Coast are talented. We see Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, Carson Macedo, Cole Macedo, Corey Day. All these California guys are doing really good, moving up, going to Outlaws, High Limit. Would you strive for that goal?
I think right now where I'm at in life, 2 kids and a full-time job, that I'll tell you that being on the road, I didn't actually fully go on the road, but when I did run back east, it's a grind, man. It's something you got to be built for it. At right now in my life, no, probably not gonna go on the road. I try and represent the best I can out here in California, and when we are able to travel with whatever series it is, I would love to do that. I don't think full time on the road is for me right now based off where I'm at in life, but I just continue to try and race as much as I can here at home, and anything else that comes our way, or any opportunities like the Houston thing. You pull the USAC national guys out of Indy, and we're Matt's putting on that event. I'm gonna be there every day.
I'm curious to get your thoughts. This might be an unfair question to ask you, but I'll ask it anyway because I've been watching sprint car racing my whole life, and Jacob's been listing off a ton of names of young guys coming up from California. There's never been this many, at least in the sprint car world, this many young drivers from California. Is there something that you can pinpoint that's maybe brought that on, or what do you attribute to this the kind of growth of dirt racing in the state of California?
Man, I don't know. California's produced some of the best sprint car drivers. I mean, look at the top three in Knoxville this weekend. I don't know. I don't know if it's the bull rings, big curbs, fast tracks, small tracks, big tracks. Just about everything. But the talent pool that comes out of California is legitimate, and that's what I said earlier. Is the competition out here in wing racing is about as good as it gets.
And having the title as the all-time winningest driver in the USAC West Coast Sprints, what does that mean to you? Having that reputation of having that success and that high of racing.
Oh, I'm proud of it, man. I'm really proud of it. There's been a lot of really good race car drivers that come through here that have raced for a long time. Maybe not so much in 360, so I got lucky there. But I would love the title to be a 410 or CRA or something like that. But no, I mean it's been been a grind through all that racing, and I'm really proud to hang my hat on that.
Is there anything still kind of on your bucket list, like races you'd want to win or cars you want to drive that you haven't had the chance to yet?
I think where I'm at in my career right now, it was the USAC National win was the one I had to have if in any time I was gonna ever hang it up. I had to have one of those just based off, like you said, the winningest driver in California in non-wing 360 racing. That's great, but if I can't. I always wanted a national win, so that was the one that I had to have. And then let's see. What was your second part of that question again?
Just maybe any kind of car you haven't raced yet.
Oh,
That
Silver
still...
Crown car.
Yeah.
Absolutely want to get in a Silver Crown car. I think that those things look like they're an absolute blast.
Yeah, I got to, I was at IRP for the first time and actually got to my first Silver Crown race. It was on pavement, but still my first time seeing them live. And man, those things are so badass. I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah, they look fun.
So you're gearing up for Wednesday with the high limit coming to California. What does your routine look like? Obviously it's different having a race in the middle of the week, but kind of your weekly schedule, because obviously you have kids, you have a family, you have, race cars to work on to prepare for. So kind of tell our viewers kind of behind the scenes how you handle your day-to-day business.
Man, honestly, it's just like a 9 to 5. You wake up, go to work, and come home and do life with the kids and the wife and everything like that. And try and sneak in a couple YouTube videos here and there to kind of catch up on, what the last couple of races have been like at these racetracks. And, nothing out of the ordinary. Race day is loading everything up, loading the kids up, loading the gear bag up, and going racing.
Yeah, so Ryan, basically we have our rapid fire presented by DJD Gear segment. We have 10 questions rapid fire at you. You just
Great.
answer what comes to your mind, and if you're ready, we're ready.
Let's go.
All right, so what makes Tulare Speedway your favorite racetrack?
Slick to the fence.
And obviously you mentioned about you wanted to get behind the wheel of a Silver Crown car, but what racetrack would you like to win at that you haven't won at yet?
In a Silver Crown car or just in general?
Just in general.
I think Paris Auto Speedway in Paris, California. That's one track in California that I have not won at yet.
What is your biggest pet peeve when driving your street vehicle in California?
I can't say driving slow in the fast lane because I do that.
You do not.
I do. I'm the worst. I'd have to go to the next one. I ain't got one.
That's been our biggest answer, actually, our most popular answer.
Dude, that's me. I just get, I just veer off and I'm just thinking about something else, and here I am going 65 in the fast lane.
If you could listen to one song the rest of your life, what would it be?
Californication, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And what's your favorite thing to do in Hollister, California?
I live in Roseville now, but golf.
And who's your favorite player on the San Jose Sharks?
Well, it was Brent Burns, but he's goner.
What's your favorite thing about being a dad?
Man, coming home from work, doesn't matter what mood you're in. The little man and the baby girl, they're happy to see you no matter what.
And obviously, you've been running the number 73, but I'm personally, why did you choose the number 87?
That was my dad's number when he raced. I believe Tom Henry, sprint car driver at San Jose Speedway, was what he took the 87 after, and I just kept on keeping on with it.
And my favorite NOS flavor used to be Nitro Mango. Unfortunately, they got rid of it. I'm sipping this NOS Zero right now, but what's your favorite NOS energy drink flavor?
Honestly, I think like an ice cold original is pretty good.
And then last but not least, if you were in an escape room with your NOS teammates, who would figure it out in a second and who would keep you in there forever?
Yeah, you didn't even have to finish. Shane Golovic for sure. He's probably the smartest guy out there. And we've had the escape room and we've solved it.
Well, we definitely appreciate those cool responses by Ryan. Obviously, it's a cool thing that they got going on with all the NOS episodes and challenges, and we really look forward to seeing Ryan behind the wheel of the sprint car coming up here this week. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you go support Ryan and see him at the racetrack, root on the number 73 sprint car. And yeah, Ryan, thanks for being on the podcast today, and we wish you the best of luck.
Right on, fellas. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks again to Ryan BERNAL for being on today's episode. We wanted to give you guys some insight on what's coming up. But first, we wanted to thank you all for all your support for these past 27 episodes. We hit 100 of subscribers. We're at 106 currently. So we just want to thank you all for subscribing, liking our videos, sharing them on social media. We got some pretty cool episodes coming up and then some giveaways. So I'm going to throw it over to Shaun to tell you who we got coming on for episode 28 and 29.
Yeah, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, please do that, because even though we are at 100, if you hit subscribe, you'll be entered to win. We got some cool prizes coming up that we can talk about in the coming episodes. But if you haven't seen, we do have Tanner Holmes coming on next week, so that's going to be awesome. We've got a couple of other guests in the works that aren't confirmed yet, but from the late model world. We've got a pretty cool two-part episode with the Oswego Speedway Classic coming up Labor Day weekend. So my buddy Camden Proud, who races Super Modifieds, is going to come on. So we're going to be talking Super Modifieds in a couple of weeks. And then after that, we've got the Tuscarora 50 coming up. So a couple of guests to be announced involved with that we're working on. So big things in the works, but Tanner Holmes next week, man, that's going to be awesome. So if you've got any questions that you'd like us to ask Tanner, put them in our replies on our Instagram channel, on our YouTube channel, or just reach out, send us a DM. We'll be happy to ask him.
Yeah, we're definitely excited for that. We also, appreciate everyone that comes on and takes time. Obviously, these drivers, have a lot going on. Tanner just came off of Knoxville. He's busy getting ready this week, so we just appreciate him taking time to be able to come on our episode Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks, guys, for watching. Like, subscribe, share on social media, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.